Welcome to Hoopty's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube. And a lot of you have been complaining lately that my Hoopty fleet doesn't look very Hoopty anymore. And yeah, I agree. There are a few cars that are definitely Hooptys that are in pieces in different places right now. But as for a full-out Hoopty, which is what built my entire YouTube channel, I don't have a lot of those. But today, that's going to change. If you'll permit me, I'm going to have a do-over of one of the cars that I owned in the past. Actually, one of the first cars, one of the first Hooptys I bought that built this YouTube channel. And I really appreciate you following, those who have watched from the beginning. And that car is the Porsche 911. Nearly 4 years ago, I bought the cheapest Porsche 911 with a manual transmission that ran and drive in the country for $9,500. And, well, mistakes were made, and it really wasn't the car's fault. It had 243,000 miles on it, and I blew it up on the track because I ignored the oil pressure warnings, and then I made the horrible mistake of LS swapping it, and then I blew up that engine, but then it wasn't the same car, so anyway, mistakes were made, and I want a do-over. And the whole situation we're in with this country presented the opportunity for me to have a do-over, and I bought another 911 that runs and drives supposedly for only $6,000. It's been delivered over at my barn, contact free, so we'll head over there and we'll check out this latest purchase. I have no idea what to expect. So we are heading to my storage barn where my friend Bob at Euro-Asian Auto has done a contact-free delivery of this 2000 Porsche 911 convertible that I bought for only $6,000. If you guys remember, he's also the guy that sold me this 1993 Camaro Z28 that hadn't ran in 10 years. But this one I found myself. I was a car dealer for many years, and I still have access to the dealer wholesale websites to peruse cars. And when I see something that I absolutely have to buy, I usually buy it through his dealership. And with this one, I didn't necessarily want to buy it for myself. I sent it to my friend Bob saying, look, it's a Porsche for $6,000. It says it runs. You should buy it. And he's like, well, I can't go look at it. I can't test drive it because all the auctions are closed. So it's really not worth the risk. I kind of thought it was worth the risk. Oh my God! You guys are not going to believe this. Are you ready? Behold, a $6,000 Porsche 911. At first glance, it actually looks really good. I mean, the top, it's all there. Black wheels, I don't know about that, but it's not in awful shape. Look at this. It's crazy. PCA sticker, so it's probably owned by an enthusiast. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna disinfect this thing and then pull it out into the sunlight. We'll see how it runs. This is crazy. All right, first start. Cracks right over. Doesn't make any weird noises either. Check engine light isn't on. Airbag light's on though. But clutch seems to work. Seems to go into gear. Are we gonna back up? It backs up. This is just absolutely astounding. $6,000 for this. For a running, moving Porsche 911. Guess I'll put the Camaro inside and then we'll take this thing for a spin. The engine runs good. Right off the bat, I can tell this thing needs motor mounts because it idles a little rough and it's not misfiring. And well, the suspension makes funny noises too. Definitely needs some freshening up there, but it's a 2000 with 175,000 miles on it. The engine sounds great. Holy moly. Let's dive it into a turn here. What? I guess I kind of rolled the dice and hit 7 this time, which doesn't usually happen, but this car was making all the right noises to me, at least from the clues I could tell online at the auction. It was traded in at a high-end import dealership, which they sent it to auction. And the Carfax said that the owner had it for about 5 years. He bought it with around 100,000 miles. He drove it up to 175,000 miles. So it hadn't passed from person to person to person. So the thing got more and more broken and people were playing hot potato. And in the pictures, the dashboard wasn't lit up like a Christmas tree. They did say it ran and drove. So I just had a good feeling. And the opening bid was $6,000, and I made a $6,000 bid, and that was the only bid. I got it. Let's try the air conditioning. The car came from Texas, so usually that's a priority for people there. And it works. Okay. It does feel like a 911, but the front end does feel pretty strange, like something's loose, and the tires, they don't feel all that good either. Also, I have zero rear visibility at all. The plastic window in this top, it's gone translucent. I can see blurs behind me. It's like I have cataracts or something in my eyes when I look that way. I don't know if that'll buff out or not, but now let's get on the highway. We have good oil pressure, good coolant temperature. Yes. Give it the beans a little bit. What? That's great. It's going 70 miles an hour right now. There's definitely a little something going on the steering wheel. A mixture of tires and loose suspension. But it's going down the road. It's shaking a little bit, but it's going down the road. I guess next we can get off the highway and try this top out. All right, let's see if this works, because the power top's not good, then financially it can sink us. Where's the button? Here. So far so good. Yes! Okay. We're in business, people! This is awesome! Oh, now I can really hear the engine. A very healthy engine on my drop top 911 for $6,000. I'm gonna say it again, $6,000. Can you believe this? Ha! Well, this window regulator seems to be dead, which is fine if that's all there is. I guess there's the airbag light. There's a lot of wear and tear on this thing, but you gotta admit, this is a home run, a total home run. But the 996 in general is a home run. You can find one of these in much nicer shape with lower mileage in the teens and low 20s, and that's the best buy in the world right now. When this car came out, Porsche enthusiasts hated it for many reasons. Number one, because the air-cooled part went away. They finally got up with the times. They felt like they had reached their limit in performance with air-cooled engines and switched to a flat six water-cooled car. And all those extra cooling components meant extra weight. So even though this thing had 296 horsepower and the outgoing 993 had 280 something horsepower, the power to weight ratio was actually a little worse for the 996, and I think performance, they were neck and neck the same. Also the styling, of course, that's why I have it parked this way, so you don't have to see the running egg headlights, and I can look even cooler, but really, it's not that bad. This is a beautiful car. And I feel like I've owned enough 911s now, especially of this 996 generation, and some older ones, and experienced plenty of newer ones to have a strong opinion on this, but this is the best 911 value for money right now. A convertible, plain old 911, not all-wheel drive, not turbos, just this simple 911. I love the turbo that I had before this that I've recently sold, but it was still a lot of money. I sold it for almost $40,000, and it had its own share of issues. The turbo doesn't have the IMS bearing problem like this has, but it does have plenty of other things that make it more complicated and more expensive to fix. And anything older like my 3.2 Carrera, it's just old and overpriced, and anything newer is just newer and overpriced. This is just the perfect sweet spot for a 911. You get the full experience for used Camry money. But this one, if you haven't heard already, is way less than used Camry money. It's hoopty level money, $6,000. And now that I have it under the bright lights of my garage, you can kind of tell, well, why it was $6,000. There's little scuffs here and there. And like I said, the black wheels, not so great. Center console, well, I don't think it's supposed to jiggle like that. The rear window regulator, as I said earlier, it is quite dirty. Quite a bit of wear and tear. Those front wheels, oh, those headlights, they weren't pretty to begin with, but now the car's dirty, but there's also a lot going on in this hood here. Still plenty of wear and tear, but we can just call it patina because it's a classic Porsche 911. Let's look under the hood here. Yep, back here. The bonnet. Well, not much to see, but actually looks decently tidy. Let's look underneath. Really, I'm seeing a little vapor seepage, but not that bad. This is a very good start. I haven't been this excited about a hoopty in a very long time, but I'm thinking maybe I should do something a little different because this is a 911 with 175,000 miles and, fill in the blank, $6,000. Maybe I should take it to the Porsche dealer for an inspection rather than the Car Wizard at first, see what they have to say. I imagine they'll find a lot. There's plenty of things, but they all seem manageable. We'll see. Thank you for watching.